Hey guys, in this video, we'll be giving you the key takeaways and a full summary of The Lean Startup by Eric Ries. But before we start the summary, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and click the notification bell to get updated about new summaries of business books every day. The Lean Startup Summary. Introduction. The Lean Startup is a way for creating and managing businesses. Standard business methods aren't necessarily appropriate for new companies. As a result, Eric started the Lean Startup technique supported by scientific methods and analysis. Eric structured the book, which is divided into three key sections. Vision. Ries makes the foundation for a new field of innovation management in this section. Steer. This part delves deeper into the marketing strategy of the Lean Startup. Accelerate. This section focuses on how to get lean startups to move as swiftly as possible. Part 1. Vision. Start. Many business people are worried about the initial stages of their firm. As a result, they disregard the fact that commerce necessitates administration. Entrepreneurs can prevent such issues by following the Lean Startup idea, intended to push the company forward. You can create a few modifications in your company instead of constructing complicated strategies primarily based on assumptions. These changes in how you create, evaluate, and benefit not only you but also your company. Sure, dealing with so many concerns while you're just getting started can be stressful. Similarly, it would help if you were dedicated and focused on succeeding in a startup. Every great startup requires vision, and a product is born from a collection of approaches, operating models, thoughts, and hard work. Define. Organizations' general managers are frequently tasked with developing new products to profit on market prospects. They are excellent at what they do, but what is being done if they have no idea how to adapt innovative ideas? Managers are only given instructions on how to build up a system. What should they do once the crew is in place? That's where the Lean Startup approach comes in. Directors, like entrepreneurs, bear a great deal of responsibility for the company's operations. It's no surprise that they're called entrepreneurs, since their work is comparable to that of entrepreneurs. As a result, the Lean Startup benefits innovators and entrepreneurs with big visions. Learn. When a company fails to complete a task efficiently, they claim they struggled, but learned from the experience. Knowledge is also a critical aspect of a company's ability to advance. Teams must not just determine whether their items are valuable, but they must also consider the needs of their clients. Training is a little distinct from the Lean Startup since it has been transformed into a notion known as the academic sphere. It's not better to replace reasons to hide defeat. Rather, it indicates success even when the organization deals with a great deal of risk. In other words, it's about discovering the truth about a firm's current state and future potential. Experiment. If a corporation is afraid to try new things, it will never learn. Experiments are critical for businesses because they allow them to forecast the future to a certain degree. Every company wants to create products that reflect its purpose, and the only way to do so is to experiment. They must also consider the clients first. If your item is a way to solve problems, you must determine whether or not your clients have that issue. Do you believe people will buy your product even if it appears to be the ideal solution? The only way to find responses to these concerns is to experiment, which is why more businesses should test. Part 2. Steer. Leap. When the creators of Facebook landed in Silicon Valley, they were surprised by their company's rapid growth. Had not only they not invested any money in advertising, but their product was also entirely free. So what lessons can others take away from them? As there are various factors at play, it's impossible to solve this issue. Furthermore, the Facebook developers made multiple claims, which equated to a leap of faith. Other business owners earned points in common, but the most important thing is to check those assumptions. It's also critical that you trust in that leap of faith, since it's the only element that can separate success from disaster. Test. If a project fails to market, organizations must create an MVP, the minimal viable product, to assist them in analyzing the system fast. Not all goods are ideal, and many will flop, but it's the quickest method to get back on the right path, even if your item is not the cheapest available. Also, it's typical to assume a few errors when you first introduce a product. For example, they were humiliated when Eric showed them IMVP's net income, which was extremely modest, but it was clear that the service had a perspective because the money was coming in. Measure. Many businesses must take a bit of a break to assess their success. Now, advancement isn't just about product modifications or anything else. It's also about accountancy. Accounting is filled with misconceptions, and it's generally ignored like the devil. Companies can use innovation accounting to build a structured, disciplined strategy to determine and measure success. This also aids entrepreneurs in deciding whether or not there is space for validated learning. Simply put, innovation accounting is the process of transforming a leap of faith into a viable financing method. There are 3 steps to it. First, use an MVP to discover where the business is right now. Second, startups must educate themselves to move from a standard to a perfect situation. Thirdly, then decide whether to maintain or fly. Pivot or preserve. Every entrepreneur must choose whether the firm should be preserved or launched at some time. Is the business growing so well that no modifications are required? This adjustment, known as a pivot, is nothing more than a controlled correction to see if the company's current theory is accepted. Many businesses may also eventually regret their selections to retain even when the data was correct in front of them. We've all heard fantastic tales about the virtue of persistence. Still, it can also be risky because if a business fails to adapt at the appropriate time, they may find themselves in a situation where they have little choice but to live. Part 3. Accelerate. Batch. Efficiency should be a priority for companies that manufacture items. If you wish to pack a few letters into packets one by one, for example, it's advisable to do one package at a time that can save time, even though it seems illogical. Even if it seems inefficient, this batch manufacturing technique will benefit businesses because things get done quicker in limited quantities. We usually think that we get better and quicker. Nevertheless, industrial processes do not function that way. When opposed to huge batches when everything is meant to be completed at once, the batch procedure has the benefit of allowing organizations to identify any problems in their product sooner. Grow. When a business reaches the steady, it's common to become almost strangled. On the surface, everything appears to be in order, but there's no way to attract new clients without development. It may be accomplished in 4 steps. The first of which is to recognize the value of word-of-mouth advertising. Clients will sing your compliments and immediately increase your business if you satisfy them. The impact of product consumption is the second phase. The third option is to use the income to support advertisements rather than relying on investment funding. And the fourth is to create a product that requires frequent use, such as membership or groceries. Adapt. Because situations are constantly shifting, firms are continually under pressure to change. While it may appear to most businesses to be a nightmare, there's no need to fear because you can constantly develop a flexible organization that allows you to adjust in response to the current situation. You don't even have to leave the industry. All you have to do is devote some time to developing a training program that can teach the rest of the company's employees. This program can also be changed regularly to improve its effectiveness over time. Innovate. The popular belief is that firms cannot develop if they become too huge. However, this is not true. Entrepreneurs may bring fresh ideas while keeping their current company structures, which can be accomplished by cultivating radical innovation. Companies must devote a large number of resources to team members. Also, this will only function if the participants have a personal interest in the project, which will eliminate any future uncertainty. The book in 3 sentences. This novel portrays businesses how to deal with significant uncertainty by putting theoretical constructs to the trial using a minimum viable product, the MVP. The lean startup creates a basis for entrepreneurs to experiment, educate, and adapt their approach through a quality improvement plan rather than constructing complicated business plans. If you like the summary, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, if you want to get updated about our newest summaries, click the notification bell never to miss one.